G'day guys, welcome to Stay Awake, where I encourage everyone who's watching to stay awake to what's really going on in the world. The Prime Minister of Australia, Malcolm Turnbull, has called for a plebiscite to be taken, a postal vote, to the people asking us if we believe same-sex couples should be allowed to get legally married. It has been happening all over the world, and right now it is something Australia is having to deal with. A couple of weeks ago, the Herald Sun released this article saying that the Turnbull government has announced that rather than having a parliamentary vote to settle this matter, the Australian people will have the opportunity to have their say. It says here that a plebiscite is a national vote that tests whether the majority of Australians support the action on a certain issue, and in this case, same-sex marriage. The plebiscite isn't even binding, that even if Australia votes yes, the government can still vote no. Marriage between same-sex couples in Australia, in fact, is in the Constitution. But when the concept was starting to gain traction, former Prime Minister John Howard introduced a law that changed the Marriage Act from 1961 to specifically exclude same-sex couples. But since the Constitution and the Marriage Act 1961 don't mesh very well in today's society, the High Court has ruled that the issue is a matter for the federal government to sort out. So this is why they're giving a vote to the Australian public. But like it says up here, the vote doesn't matter.
There were better ways and there were more efficient ways and cheaper ways to be able to do this, but this is what we're up against, so this is what we're going to have to go with.
Now, I want to make something clear. If someone supports traditional marriage over the idea of same-sex marriage, it does not make them a bad person. I wanted to open with this because it is so frustrating and so common to hear that anyone with genuine concerns or doubts over same-sex marriage is almost immediately labelled as homophobic, bigoted, or even a right-wing fascist. This is wrong and a dangerous attitude to take into any big discussion like this. Now, most people would agree that a vast majority of same-sex attracted people are hard-working and law-abiding Australian citizens, and to be honest, how they choose to live their personal life is their own choice, and no one's really questioning that. But when it comes to same-sex marriage, however, the country is being pushed to institutionalise or formalise a personal lifestyle choice without any real discussion of the long-term impacts this decision will have and whether or not it is to society's benefit to begin the breakdown of the tried, tested and essential backbone of society, the traditional family.
School told my son he could wear a dress next year if he felt like it.
When same-sex marriage passes as law overseas, this type of program becomes widespread and compulsory.
Kids in Year 7 are being asked to role-play being in a same-sex relationship.
The debate is all about emotion, with facts and logic largely absent, and if you don't believe me, ask yourself, when was the last time you heard or read a rational discussion about the impact this decision will have? Now, the first main point I want to raise is this. The logic being used to break traditional marriage will set a precedent and become the key that will be used to unlock the same debate in future. Every argument being used to legitimise same-sex marriage can be applied to polygamy, incest, and even bestiality. Am I comparing same-sex marriage to these? No, but I am pointing out the undeniable fact that when your argument is only based on things like love is love or equality for all, whilst at the same time shutting down any legitimate concern, you open the door for anyone else to use these same arguments to suit their lifestyle choice, no matter how far-fetched they appear. Whenever I talk about this topic, I always get people asking, why do you care about marriage? It's just a piece of paper and heterosexual marriage has failed anyway. Just look at the divorce rates. No, marriage is not just a piece of paper, and to think so is just stupid. It is the backbone of our society, and I could do a whole presentation on this, but in the most basic sense, the home is the most formative place for every human being. And if we have good homes, we have good children. And if we have good children, we'll have a good society. And I believe, along with history, science, and common sense, that the best home for a child to be raised in is one with a father and a mother. Yes, divorce rates are high, and yes, marriage and family is not upheld as it once was, but that does not mean we should discard it as worthless and useless, and then open the door to further eroding it based solely on not wanting to hurt someone's feelings or false ideas of equality. Now, I understand that what I'm saying may be offensive to some people, and that's not my intention, but we are all entitled to our own opinion, and the fact that I was extremely cautious to make this video should say a lot about this debate already. And to be honest, I find it highly hypocritical that those who go on about equality, love and respect seem not so eager to show love and respect to those they don't agree with, and vote no. This is an issue that is being forced on all of us when there are far more important things to worry about. This is an issue that will change the fabric of our society for decades to come and shape the world your children and grandchildren will live in. Traditional marriage is the only marriage, and if you believe so, don't be bullied into silence out of fear of offending someone. Just vote no.
How gorgeous.
I love it.
Well, I love it more than you.
Joel, that's impossible because I love it the most.
Do you really think you love marriage equality more than me?
Joel, I know I love marriage equality more than you.
Well, have you listened to my episode on Audible's Listen to Love series on marriage equality?
No, have you listened to mine?
No, because they didn't ask you to record one.
Are you guys ready to pay?
This doesn't concern you.
Marriage equality acceptance debate?
Marriage equality acceptance debate.
The marriage referendum has been like coming out all over again for me. But it's important to stand up and speak up for what I believe, because there are too many people being bullied into silence. I'm a gay man, and on May 22nd I'll be voting no to same-sex marriage, because I believe children deserve a mother and a father where possible. For me, marriage is about children and the family, and not a way to measure adult relationships.
I've been gay for as long as I can remember, and I grew up in an Ireland that was ferociously hostile. I am, as far as I know, the last person arrested under the 1867 Offences Against the Persons Act. Young, alone, terrified. That experience nearly killed me. Now, I'm being accused of being homophobic because I am against the redefinition of marriage. Yeah, I'm homophobic. I scream when I pass the mirror.
For me, this referendum is not about equality for two main reasons. We already have civil partnerships in Ireland, and civil partnerships give gay couples protection and recognition. In fact, the ceremony is the same as civil marriage, right down to saying I do. If gay couples want constitutional protection, put civil partnerships in the Constitution, but don't redefine marriage.
A same-sex relationship is different to a marriage because marriage is, at its heart, about children and providing those children with their biological parents. Recognizing difference is not discrimination.
This referendum is about children because everyone knows marriage is almost always about children, and because the government want to change the section of the Constitution on the family. To have children, gay men like me need to either adopt or use surrogacy. Surrogacy turns children into commodities, putting adult desires above the rights of children, having babies made to order and wombs for rent. We're seeing in other countries how messy this can get, with surrogacy cases ending up in the court. And where are the child's best interests in that?
If this referendum passes, we won't be able to privilege a mother and father model for a child in adoption. That's not fair, and we should vote no to that.
If you approve the government's amendment, you will be saying that there is no distinction between the union of a man and woman, and of two men or two women. There is a difference between our relationships, and to pretend otherwise is wrong. It's not a matter of better or worse, it's a matter of recognizing difference and celebrating diversity. Saying that there is no distinction is ridiculous. True equality recognizes difference, and it doesn't deliberately take away a child's right to a mother or father. In your heart of heart, I believe you feel this is true. So get out and vote no.
You must know that this has been an adult-centred campaign, putting the rights of adults over those of children. A campaign to put surrogacy at the heart of our family law. Once you know this, you need to get out and to vote no.
If you know that gay people like me already have their love recognised and protected by civil partnerships, and that we don't need to redefine marriage, get out and vote no.
90,000 Australians have joined the electoral roll ahead of the same-sex marriage postal vote. Rolls for the vote closed last night, and the Australian Electoral Commission has processed 765,000 enrolment transactions, including the new voters, with more than 160,000 still to go. The AEC says the surge has seen the electoral roll grow to more than 16 million, the largest roll since Federation.
You can say no.